My role at the Pearson Institute is I'm a professor. I teach and I research on issues of violence in cities in Latin America that are fragile and affected by crime and warfare and gangs. So most of my work the past 10 years has been focused on young men who are committing violence. These might be petty criminals on the street, these might be ex-combatants, and the idea is how to get them to live less violent, less volatile lifestyles. When there are groups killing on the streets or killing in the countryside, businesses don't invest, kids can't go to school, really the entire economy rests on peace. What we realized is there was this structure of crime to the city. Not only is every neighborhood to some degree is ruled by a local gang, there's a superstructure of mafias above them that control those street gangs. If you live in a poor middle-income neighborhood in Medellin and you need to evict your tenant, or you have some property dispute with your neighbor, or you are a shopkeeper and you need to collect on the credit that you've been giving to somebody, you might go to the police, you might go to some kind of judicial official, but in a lot of neighborhoods it's a lot more effective to go to what they call the combo, which is the local street gang, because that combo can solve that problem for you, and often they can do it better than the city can right now. That's just not an acceptable situation for a stable state. The biggest problem here is that nobody really knows what to do about street gangs. Nobody really knows what to do about mafias. There's police solutions, there's militarized solutions. That's the only thing in their toolkit. And so our whole purpose is actually to work with cities and to work with governments and try to expand that toolkit. And together we're trying to figure out how violence happens in Medellin and how to stop it. A lot of my research tries to marry the qualitative with the quantitative work. When the city decides to arrest maybe 100, 150 heads of these criminal organizations, we are actually looking at the data on what happens to homicide rates in those neighborhoods before and after to try to see the impact on violence. For me, what's been so important about Pearson is the ability to go to a place like Medellin, to identify this problem that nobody really understood, that's clearly important, and then to be able to marshal the people and the resources to go and focus on trying to have impact, trying to change how things work there, trying to do something concrete to reduce the violence. The fact is that there are at least a dozen, if not 24 other cities where this is a problem, whether it's Rio de Janeiro, whether it's Kingston, Jamaica, whether it's San Salvador, Guatemala City. These are all cities that are ruled by criminal groups, and it's affecting the United States. It affects the United States when 50,000 children a month show up on the southern border, when drugs and guns come across. So this is not just a Latin America problem, this is everybody's problem. We don't have conclusions right now, but what I'm so hopeful about is we have this partner in the city, and we have the local business community funding a lot of this work, and we have local university researchers and postdocs collaborating with us, and all experimenting, trying new things, and pushing the envelope further than any U.S. city has ever pushed the evidence envelope, I think, in any kind of gang or organized crime research. For us and for the city of Medellin, Medellin is a laboratory in some sense, and this is going to be the first trial of any kind of anti-gang intervention in the world. And it's something that we think that other cities will all be able to benefit from.